There's a subtle but powerful difference between someone who wants to be with you and someone who wants to take from you. We often confuse the two, especially when the person is close to us, a family member, a friend, or even a partner. They may seem to be seeking your company, but their true aim is to drain your energy. Think about it. Do you have a person in your life who, after every interaction, leaves you feeling completely exhausted, as if you've run a marathon you didn't even know you were in? This isn't just about being an introvert or needing time alone. This is about a specific kind of depletion, a feeling that your life force has been siphoned off. They don't engage in a real exchange of ideas or emotions. They don't listen to you with the intent of understanding. Instead, they talk endlessly about their own problems, their own dramas, their own needs, without ever asking about yours. This isn't about being selfish. This is about protecting your most valuable resource, your personal energy. This energy is what allows you to be creative, to be productive, to be present for the people who truly matter. When someone consistently takes this from you, they are effectively stealing your ability to live a full and vibrant life. It's a form of emotional theft. They see you as a battery, a source of power to be used for their own purposes, a sounding board for their endless complaints, and a dumping ground for their negative emotions. Their presence is a one-way street where their problems are paramount and yours are non-existent or trivialized. You become an audience member in the theater of their life, and the show never ends. Identifying this type of person requires self-awareness. You must pay attention to how you feel, not just during the interaction, but afterward. A healthy relationship leaves you feeling energized, supported, and seen. An unhealthy, draining one leaves you feeling empty, resentful, and unseen. It's a persistent, nagging feeling of being used. You might try to tell yourself, they just need me right now, but that right now turns into every time. The need is endless, because the void within them is endless. They're not looking for a solution. They're looking for a listener, a free therapist, a human punching bag for their frustrations. The worst part is that they often don't even realize they're doing it. For them, this is normal. For you, it's a slow and steady decline. So, how do you handle this? The first step is recognition. Acknowledge that this is happening. The second is to create boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls built to keep people out. They're fences built to protect your garden. You can't let someone trample all over your flowers every single day. This might mean limiting your time with them, refusing to engage in their cycles of drama, or simply saying, I'm not able to talk about this right now. It's difficult, especially with people you love, but it's a necessary act of self-preservation. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you let them drain you completely, you'll have nothing left for yourself or for anyone else. They will have taken not just your energy, but your very ability to be fully human, and that is a price far too high to pay. Time is a finite resource. It is the most precious commodity we possess. Once it's spent, it's gone forever. We all know this intellectually, but we often fail to live it. We give our time away freely, sometimes to those who don't deserve it. I'm not talking about spending time with people you love and cherish, where time flows easily and is a source of mutual joy. I am talking about those who demand your time, who treat it as if it's their right, not your gift. These are the people who constantly interrupt your day, your work, your moments of quiet reflection. They don't ask if you have a moment, they just assume you do. They're the ones who call you at inconvenient hours with trivial problems, who monopolize conversations, and who have no regard for your own schedule or commitments. The key distinction here is that they don't value you as a person, they value you as a resource. Your time is a tool for them to use to fill their own void, to feel less lonely, or to get help with something they could likely handle on their own. They're not interested in connecting with you on a deep level. They're interested in a warm body, a distraction, someone to fill the empty spaces in their own lives. When you are with them, do you feel seen and heard, or do you feel like you're just an accessory to their day? A person who values your company will be mindful of your time. They'll ask if you're busy, they'll appreciate the time you give them, and they'll make the most of it. They understand that your time is a gift, and they treat it as such. A person who merely wants your time, however, will be oblivious to your life. They will make you feel guilty for being busy. They will manipulate you into thinking that their needs are more important than your own. They will try to pull you away from your work, your family, or your self-care, all under the guise of friendship or need. But it's not friendship, it's a form of emotional extortion. They hold your relationship hostage, threatening to withdraw their affection or friendship if you don't comply with their demands. This is a very common pattern in codependent relationships, where one person's identity is built on helping and the other's is built on needing. It's a toxic cycle that leaves both people unfulfilled. Recognizing this behavior is vital. Start paying attention to who respects your boundaries and who bulldozes over them, who checks in on you, and who only calls when they need something, who makes you feel valued for who you are, and who makes you feel like an errand runner or a crisis manager. Your time is not an endless well. Every hour you give to someone who doesn't respect it is an hour you can't get back. It's an hour you could have spent on your own growth, your own passions, or with people who truly uplift you. You have a choice. You can continue to give away your time, bit by bit, until you have nothing left, or you can start saying no. You can start protecting your time and reserving it for the things and people that truly matter. It's not about being selfish, it's about being strategic with your most valuable asset. It's about living a life of purpose, not a life of reaction. We all have moments where we need to vent, where we need a sympathetic ear, and where we need a friend to just listen without judgment. That is a natural and healthy part of human connection. But there's a difference between a healthy venting session and a pathological need for sympathy. A healthy person vents, receives comfort, and then takes action to solve their problem. A person who only wants your sympathy, however, is not looking for a solution. They're looking for validation of their victimhood. Their life is a constant series of unfortunate events, and they need you to constantly agree with them that they are indeed a victim of circumstance. These people are often skilled storytellers. They will recount their hardships with great detail, painting a picture of a world that is constantly against them. Their boss is unfair, their family is unsupportive, their friends are unreliable, and the world is just a cruel place. While some of these things may be true to an extent, a person who truly wants to move forward will eventually shift from "this is happening to me" to "what can I do about this?" The person who only wants sympathy will never make that shift. They will find every reason why a solution won't work. They will shoot down every piece of advice you offer. You might suggest they talk to their boss, and they'll say, "Oh, that'll just make it worse." You might suggest they look for a new job, and they'll say, "It's impossible to find a good job in this economy." You might suggest they talk to a therapist, and they'll say, "Therapy doesn't work for me." What is happening here is that their identity has become wrapped up in their suffering. To solve their problem would be to lose a part of who they are. Their need for sympathy is so great that they are willing to stay in a state of pain just to receive the attention and validation that comes with it. By giving them your sympathy, you are unknowingly feeding this cycle. You are confirming that their victimhood is justified, and you are providing them with a comfortable space to remain stagnant. You are becoming an enabler. The more you listen to their complaints without offering a push toward action, the more entrenched they become in their own despair. The solution to this is not to be cold or heartless. It's to be a friend who encourages growth, not stagnation. When they come to you with a problem, listen with empathy, but then gently pivot the conversation toward action. You can say something like, "That sounds incredibly difficult. What have you thought about doing to change it?" Or, "I hear you, but what's the first step you can take to make this better?" If they refuse to even consider solutions, you have to recognize that your role as their sounding board is a negative one. You are not helping them, you are keeping them stuck. This might mean you have to distance yourself, not out of cruelty, but out of a deep understanding that you cannot save someone who doesn't want to be saved. You cannot pull someone out of a well if they are gripping the bottom with both hands. You must protect your own mental and emotional health by stepping away from the cycle of endless sympathy. It is an act of compassion for yourself and paradoxically an act of tough love for them. In life, we all need honest feedback to grow. We need friends who are willing to tell us the truth, even when it's difficult to hear. We need people in our lives who will challenge us, who will see our blind spots, and who will hold a mirror up to us so we can see ourselves more clearly. These relationships are invaluable, but there is a very different kind of person who seeks you out not for your honest opinion, but for your validation. These are the people who only want you to agree with them, to tell them they are right, and to reinforce their existing beliefs and decisions, no matter how flawed they might be. This behavior often stems from deep-seated insecurity. They lack the inner confidence to trust their own judgment, so they outsource their self-worth to others. They'll come to you with a decision they've already made, but instead of asking for your real thoughts, they will ask, "Isn't this the right thing to do, or don't you think I'm right about this?" They are not looking for a genuine conversation, they are looking for a rubber stamp. If you agree, they feel a fleeting sense of relief and validation. If you disagree, they will become defensive, argumentative, and perhaps even angry. Your differing opinion isn't seen as a helpful perspective, it's seen as an attack. They will twist your words, misrepresent your intentions, and ultimately try to convince you that you are wrong for not agreeing with them. The dynamic is a trap. If you give them the validation they seek, you are not being a good friend. You are enabling their bad decisions and their lack of self-awareness. You are robbing them of an opportunity to learn and grow. If you give them your honest opinion and it differs from theirs, you risk damaging the relationship and you will likely be met with resistance and hostility. The more you engage in this cycle, the more you lose yourself. You start to censor your own thoughts and opinions to avoid conflict. You become a yes man or a yes woman, and in doing so you sacrifice your integrity. You stop being a source of wisdom and become a source of comfort, but it's a comfort that does nothing to help them. Recognizing this pattern is crucial. When someone comes to you with a problem or a decision, listen to how they ask for your input. Are they truly open to different perspectives, or are they fishing for compliments? Do they value your honesty, or do they value your agreement? If you find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, constantly biting your tongue to avoid a confrontation, or constantly feeling like you have to lie to them, then you are in a relationship that is not based on mutual respect. It is based on their need for external validation. The best course of action is to stop playing the game. When they ask for your opinion, you can gently but firmly state your true thoughts. You can say, "I see it differently," or "I'm not sure that's the best path." If they react negatively, you'll know that their desire for validation is stronger than their desire for truth. At that point, you have to decide if this is a relationship you can continue to be a part of. A true friend wants what's best for you, and sometimes what's best is a dose of reality. You are not a human trophy for them to hold up to the world. You are a thinking, feeling person with your own beliefs. Do not let them silence your voice in their pursuit of an echo chamber. Generosity is a beautiful and noble trait. Giving to others without expectation of return is one of the highest forms of human kindness. But there's a fine line between generosity and being taken advantage of. There are people in this world who are masters at exploiting the generosity of others. They don't want a give-and-take relationship. They want a take-and-take relationship. They are constantly in need of something, a favor, a loan, a place to stay, or simply your help with a task. They approach you not as an equal, but as a source of resources. They'll ask for a small favor, and before you know it, that small favor has spiraled into a continuous stream of demands. These people are often very charming at first. They will make you feel special, like you are the only one who can help them. They will praise your kindness and your big heart. They will make you feel indispensable. This is a tactic, a manipulation to make you feel good about giving so that you will continue to do so. The red flag, however, is the complete lack of reciprocity. Do they ever offer to help you? Do they ever pay back the money they owe you? Do they ever show up for you when you are in need? The answer is almost always no. Their relationship with you is transactional, but it's a transaction where only one party is ever giving. They will often have a sob story to go along with their requests. They are in a tight spot, they had bad luck, or they are just going through a difficult time. And while these things might be true on the surface, a person who truly wants to move forward will work to get out of that tight spot. A person who only wants your generosity will become a professional victim. They will use their circumstances as a permanent excuse for why they can't contribute or why they can't pay you back. They'll make you feel guilty for even asking. The moment you suggest that they should try to solve their own problems or that you are not able to help them, they will turn on you. They will accuse you of being heartless, selfish, or unsupportive. This is a classic form of manipulation, designed to make you feel bad so that you will continue to give. The danger of this kind of relationship is not just the loss of your resources, it's the loss of your self-respect. You start to feel used, resentful, and angry. You begin to question your own judgment and your own generosity. You feel trapped. The way out is to start saying no. You don't need to give a long explanation or a list of excuses. A simple, "I'm sorry, I can't," is enough. You have the right to set boundaries around your resources, whether they are financial, physical, or emotional. Your generosity is a gift to be given, not a right to be taken. True friendship and partnership are built on a foundation of reciprocity, where both people are willing to give and receive. If you are in a relationship where you are the only one giving, you are not in a partnership, you are in a parasitic relationship. It is not an act of kindness to enable someone who is unwilling to help themselves. It is an act of self-love and self-preservation to walk away from someone who only sees you as a source of endless supply.